I feel like with the ACAC, like playing in it and then like training people that play in it now, I feel like we get a bad rep because it's not like the D1 of Canada.
Hmm.
Well, you know how many people in the states go to D2,
Hmm.
and everyone's happy about
Hmm.
it. I feel like here we have people that come from U Sport to ACAC and don't play.
Hmm.
We have
Hmm.
people that go to ACAC to U Sport and do play. But like
Hmm.
you said, you got to go where you want it.
Yep.
Nowadays, I feel like people are too good to go to Nate,
Hmm.
or are too good to go to GP, or too good to go to Lethbridge.
Hmm.
Same, but now if you see U Sport kids coming to play ACAC, they struggling. And one thing about the ACAC, we got 25-year-old freshmen in there. So,
Nice.
so you think you an 18-year-old about to come play against a 25-year-old? I was a 25-year-old senior. You
Yeah.
think I was gonna have 18-year? So I feel like now, just go where you want it. No matter the level, you get to play college basketball. You know, how people wish
Yeah.
they could play college basketball. So that's my thing with it. Hello, guys. My name's Kendall Johnson. Welcome to 1P Productions. The reason why we're doing this podcast is to get my voice out there to talk about what's going on in the basketball community in Alberta. Little bit about myself. I'm from Philadelphia. I played ACAC, all-time leading scorer at Grand Prairie, top five all-time scorer in ACAC, professional trainer and head owner of One Possession. Today's topic will be Coach's Cut. I got one of my favorite point guards as my guest named Luka. He's here to talk. We're here to talk, and let's get to it.
So my name is Luka. My basketball journey started in Croatia in Southern Europe. I started when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I just played for a local basketball club that was just in my hometown. And then just to fast forward, in when I was about 13 or 14, my family moved to Canada, and I played my high school years in Lethbridge. Collectively, on the high school level as a team, we didn't do too well, but individually, I had okay 3 years, which led me to a college offer here in Edmonton for Concordia University, which is I spent my first and second year there. And then through COVID and my last 3 years of college basketball, I played for Nate.
Okay, so let's get to it. So first question, Luka. So what was the biggest thing coming from Croatia and then coming to Canada? What was the big adjustment with as a basketball player?
As a basketball player, there were many differences, but I'd say the biggest one was the focus on the physical aspects of a player, like your vertical, your strength, and stuff like that. And I I would like to say the lack of focus on pure segment of basketball, which is passing, shooting, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say the game there is a little bit faster because of those things. But I would say people in America look at your physical aspect of a player more than the pure basketball side of
Mm-hmm.
things.
So like growing up in Lethbridge in high school, what's one thing you wish you can go back on and change?
If I could go back and change, I would probably focus on getting my body ready for the post secondary level. I would say I was a little undersized. I was about 150 pounds my grade 12 season, and I didn't start lifting weights until I was about 19 years old. So I was halfway through my rookie season at the college level before I even started lifting weights. So if I were to go back, I would, I'd still keep my basketball habits, but I'd also add the weight room on top in my grade 11 or 12 season.
Yeah, I think with me back in high school, I feel like I had the work ethic, but I was working on the wrong things. Like I wasn't doing catch and shoots. I was just doing ball handling, and I wasn't really watching film. Like I didn't have that mindset. I just thought I was just good. But I feel like that's like every kid. So I feel like kids now, y'all need to take the little things serious. The weight room, get the right type of shots up. I feel like right now everybody just going to work out and say, hey, post a video. Hey, I was in the gym, but was you really in the gym? I feel like the kids today we gotta get better with. So next topic is like when you pick your college, right? Nowadays, I feel like kids think the ACAC is bad.
Mm,
So how do you feel as being an ACAC player, and you see how the kids downplay our league?
that's a really good question. The ACAC level for me, when I looked at it, I honestly wasn't even like too educated on it, to be honest, because I
Mm-hmm.
was still like pretty fresh to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But The one advice I would have for people looking for schools is go where you're wanted, more than where you think you want to go. Because when I was 18 or 19, I had all kinds of visions and ideas that I wanted to put in place. But at the end of the day, you'll get the minutes for a coach that really wants you.
So like you played in the league, you coached at Jazz place with our brother Dante. Like so being around the community of these kids, what is the difference with these kids now and then how when you was growing up? Is you think social media
Mm,
is making kids
yeah,
like everyone can get a highlight tape now.
yeah,
Everyone thinks everyone thinks they're so good because you get a 30-second highlight tape.
yeah.
So what you think on that?
That's a good question. I think today's generation. I don't want to sound like an old head here, but with social media, it definitely changes things because kids get it, unfortunately, a little too, I guess you could say, unrealistic, or they try and skip steps too soon, in a sense where they look at a video of a Luka Doncic or somebody who's their age or a little bit older and is already in the NBA or is already making uh, crazy money overseas or something like that. So they look at that highlight reel and they think to themselves, oh, well, I'll never be in the NBA or I'll never be famous or basketball is not
Mhm.
gonna get me X, Y, and Z. So what's the point of playing basketball? And I think the whole point of basketball and sports in general is just embracing that we call it Mamba mentality, where you,
Mhm.
you show up and you become better every single day. And I think looking back at my 15-year career, that was the whole point of basketball, is to make sure that I become somebody and develop habits in the process. It didn't matter what school I played for or what medal I got. It was just
Mhm.
a matter of character development, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
And today's generation, unfortunately, doesn't see it as that, and they try and like skip steps too
Mhm.
often or too quick.
No, because I feel like social media. Everyone knows I'm a big social media guy. I remember when I was playing in college, I used to post highlights and stuff like that. But what I tell kids right now, I have no problem with you posting on Instagram a lot, but you better be killing.
Hmm.
You know right now, and I feel like with the highlight tapes, coaches can tell if it's one game you playing one person, you go to the next game is another person. Coaches can know that. But
Hmm.
you have a highlight tape and you scoring 30 points on the same team,
Hmm.
it takes you 45 seconds to get to the next tape. That means you actually doing something.
Hmm.
Well, let's get back to the ACAC. So our league, what's a couple things that our league can do better so for it to grow, so people can stop putting the bad name on our
Mm.
league
You mean girls or boys,
or
or
total.
just in general?
Mm,
I think the ACAC has, generally speaking, not
mm,
every school, but
mm,
in general, we have a little bit of a cultural and identity crisis
mm,
where you don't know what a lot of these ACAC kids, what the final product looks like of a
mm,
kid, right?
mm,
So it's hard to spot an Ambrose kid or a Nate kid or something like that, right?
mm,
Because for one reason or another, coaches just didn't take their time and created an actual culture
mm.
within that school.
Right. We gotta find a way to publicize us like better, like
Mhm.
get us on TV. I mean, not
Mhm.
like TV. Get us.
Mhm.
First of all, can the games be free? All right,
Mhm.
we paying $15.99 to watch the game. I can watch Brown for free. That's one thing. Another thing is we gotta like be able to like show the players and like show them the development of where they like came from. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Just because they came from U Sport, it doesn't matter. I feel like we gotta show ourselves more. I feel like right now we just happy to be in second place behind U Sport.
Mhm.
I feel like some of the ACAC teams are better than some U Sports,
Mhm.
but the ACAC, I feel like in the U Sport, I feel like we should come together and start having some non-conference tournaments
Mhm.
to play with each other.
Mhm.
Because there's no reason why Sate, Keanos, the Nates, you can't tell me they don't got 3 to 4 U Sport players on that team.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
feel like the ACAC and the U Sport, we should come together.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's the one thing that we don't really do well. And I
Mhm.
feel like if we do that, I think it will help.
At the end of the day, both leagues are a post-secondary league, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're considered a semi-professional,
Mm-hmm.
right? So basketball is paying for for school at the end of the day. I remember my second year when my second year was my sister's first year of college,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad pretty much told me like either like I can't pay for school for both of you guys, so
Mm-hmm.
either Luca got to figure it out or she has to she has to wait a year, and that's when my school at the time, Nate, was able to offer me a full scholarship. So at the end of the day, like both leagues are post secondary leagues, so you're considered a semi-pro, which a lot of people, they don't get to say that. So
Right. Last two topics. So when you were done, were you happy when you were done? Like, did you was you done on your own terms? Cause I feel like
mm,
playing basketball your whole life,
mm.
it's just hard to just give it up. And some people don't know their identity after they done playing basketball.
That was something I wasn't really accounting for, and I was done a little prematurely. I had coaches and family and friends telling me not to go for it, but I decided to go for it anyways. And when they told me, "Hey, like you'll never find anything that's as competitive as what this, as your current Saturday and Friday nights feel
Mm-hmm.
like, you'll never." It's hard. It's gonna be hard to find that chase or that feeling you have right now.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, they were correct. But fortunately for me, I was able to, I guess, get into coaching right away, so that helped. And then just playing recreationally once a week, that kind of, I guess, scratched the itch. But I was mentally just kind of ready to move on to my next phase of life, which was managing a family business for me. So um, I guess I was wanted in some different areas more than I was, being a student athlete. But having an identity shift, like it's a real legitimate thing. It's a real legitimate thing. It's never easy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm still in the field. I get to play. I get to do training, but I can't lie. If I couldn't train, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. So,
Mm,
but I tell, especially my Americans that come here, take full advantage of this opportunity to come to Canada. I know a lot of my boys, they don't know what they want to do after they done playing, and then they just scrambling for after 2 years. And another thing, take school serious. I know I ain't take school serious, but I always knew I had a plan. But sometimes the plan didn't work.
mhm.
If my plan didn't work, I might be at McDonald's or something. Just be honest with you. So like, imagine you're a player, right?
Yep.
You got options to go to 3 ACAC schools.
Hmm.
You have 2 U Sports schools, or you go to JUCO.
Mm,
I feel like right now that's a lot of things that people doing.
mm,
Because you go to the ACACs, you know you're gonna play a lot.
mm.
You go U Sport, you might gotta wait your turn. But if you go JUCO, you know everybody know how JUCO is make or
Dogfight.
break you.
Dogfight. Mm,
But the thing I'm trying to tell kids is wherever you start, no matter where you finish.
mm.
So that if you were in that situation, what would you do? Or
Really good
what
question.
type of advice you have?
That's a really good question. It depends on what you want to do, and I know it's probably not an answer you guys are looking for, but um, uh, there's so many different ways you can go about this. I can speak for myself. Like for me, the reason I chose the ACAC is because I wanted to go to U Sport eventually. I didn't end up doing it, but eventually I wanted to go to U Sport, um, because for academic reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like when I was 18 or 19, both me and my family were big on school. So that's why the U.S. unfortunately, like I automatically kind of ruled out, and just due to my immigration status, like Canada was it. So JUCO, I'm immediately ruling out again, just for me personally. Um, and then it comes between the ACAC and U Sport. Now, ACAC, I was a 150 pound, 6 foot white guy. So I saw the ACAC as a stepping stone. So that's kind of where I wanted to go because of those reasons. Now, if you're somebody who's a bit more talented than me, you might just have to go to U Sport right away and just get a good degree and get a good job afterwards. Or if you're somebody who just wants to completely commit to basketball and go all in on it, like JUCO might be an answer for you. Really depends whether you want to do this for academic reasons or you want to be a professional basketball player one day, or everybody's got a different situation. But for me, I would choose the ACAC route, and then U Sport if you're like talented and want to do this for academic reasons, and then JUCO if you're like crazy talented and like pro basketball is like all in your mind for the next like 5 to 10 years.
I just feel like you should just go where you're gonna get the most opportunity. I'm a JUCO guy, ended in ACAC, and still went pro. People got different ways,
Mm-hmm.
but I tell the kid, go where you want to play. Why would you want to be a red shirt
Mm-hmm.
at a Manitoba University and you could just go play at Lethbridge or Lakeland?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Mm-hmm.
just think about that.
To piggyback off
Yeah.
that,
Mm-hmm.
I do think you develop more when you do get more minutes. So my first year I played at Concordia and my first year I got 15 minutes. My second year I got 35. And if I would have spent those 2 years redshirting for, like you said, a
Mm-hmm.
university, I don't think I would have developed as much, just because it's different. Even if you go a little bit of a lower level that the ACAC is, you'll still get to feel the nerves on a Friday and Saturday night. As a redshirt, it's tough to create that feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, like the ACAC can be used as a stepping stone, I think, for the first 2 years if you want to go to U Sport eventually.
All right.
So
So so I want you to be real here. What's your honest opinion about prep school in Canada, prep schools in Canada? Because
oof.
since you were at one of the best schools in the area at Jasper Place as a
Mhm.
coach, so how you feel about prep schools?
If you have family support and you're talented and you want to put yourself in front of coaches, I think prep school is the way to go. For somebody like me, again, I unfortunately didn't have the family support and I couldn't tell my parents to, I'm going to take it goes back to cultural things. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't tell my dad, hey, I'm going to take a year off and then go to university. He just wouldn't rule that out. So, if you have family support and you're talented, you do yourself playing at the next level. I think you should go to a proper prep school and go to somebody who cares about you. Unfortunately, a lot of these coaches and trainers do see kids as you know dollar signs. So go to a school that cares for you truly.
Okay. And now, last question before we cut it off. So, how do you think the basketball community in Edmonton can we get closer instead of like I'm scared to go there, I'm scared to go there. How is it a way that we can trainers,
Mm,
clubs, do you think it's a possible way for us all to come together or it just
yes.
never gonna happen? And why can it happen or why it can't happen?
It can happen and it should happen in my humble opinion. And I was fortunate enough to come from a whole different community league, which back in Europe things are done so differently, it's not even close. But I kind of saw the shift happen between like where everybody just goes to a local nearby basketball club to, hey, there's a million and one trainer you can choose from in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that can be done. The biggest thing I would do, personally, if it was up to me, I would get these trainers to stop claiming kids. At the end of the day, like you or any of these trainers or
Mm-hmm.
coaches own any of these kids. They should be the center focus of everything that we as coaches or you as coaches do, and just look what's best for the kid, right? Like because you may not offer
Mm-hmm.
to somebody that Brett at Genesis can offer or whoever,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I do think that we should stop claiming kids and just put them at the center and put them in the focus of things.
Yeah, I feel like all the trainers here, we all hoops. And I feel like 8 to 10 years ago, we didn't have no trainers
No.
here. So now that we have trainers, I feel like we just care about the kids, and we all care about the kids. It's money to go around.
Mm.
But hey, episode one's done. Shout out to one of my favorite point guards, Luka, for pulling up to the studio. Hey, I got Day in the back. Shout out to 1P Productions. I'm holla at y'all.